Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew and it's time. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough video to do, but I am going to review Puff the Little Fire Dragon from Lagoon. Now, Puff the Little Fire Dragon is a Zero Tivoli family coaster. I don't know the exact height, but it's I think under 10 feet tall in total. And it's a circle. Well, it's an oval, technically, and I don't know how to review this, I'll be honest, since it is a kiddie coaster, and I guess I'll try and review it like a regular coaster, I suppose, but let's just get into this. And I want to apologize because I only have one clip of this coaster, so, yeah. So, Puff is actually kind of in the middle to back of the park, maybe even possibly over to the right side. This is the one area of the park that is kind of hard for me to remember fully, just because we only walked through it once compared to the rest of the areas of the park where we walked around a couple times. But it is right next to the entrance for Pioneer Village, which is my favorite part of the park for sure. And if you can find the main entrance for Pioneer Village, you will find Puff. It is next to also the swinging ship, as well as, I think, the station for the train ride for the zoo. I'm not entirely sure on that one, though. So like I said earlier, this coaster is very small because it is a kiddie coaster. It's the only kiddie coaster at Lagoon, and it's actually very smooth. I will add that first off. It is very smooth for what it is, but I mean, at the same time, it's not really much. It literally has a tire lift hill, a turning left turn with like no banking into that is also a drop, by the way, and then a couple bunny hills that don't do anything, and then another left turn around into the station. The station actually curves a little bit, so it's not actually perfectly straight. It does curve near the end and even goes up a hill a little bit, so if you are trying to load into the back row like I was, it is actually kind of difficult to try and sit down completely safely without losing your balance, at least. It was pretty difficult to try and ride in. Now, these are just the standard Tivoli trains, except very small. So if you've ridden Jaguar or Cobra, both coasters in California, or Timber Twister coaster at Gilroy Gardens, you know what these trains are like and how they feel. They're not the best, but they're not the worst for sure. They do give you a lot of room, I would say, especially for a kiddie coaster. But let's get into the ride experience. You start up with the tire lift hill, and then you hit this crazy steep, like, I don't know, probably less than 30-degree drop. But in the back row, in the very back, you actually get a little bit of floater airtime, so there's a plus right there. And then you get a little bit of laterals in the back row on that first turn, but then after that you hit the bunny hills, which don't really do anything besides just keep you moving, and then you hit a left turn that is actually banked a little bit, but then you turn around back into the station and then go back up the tire lift hill, get a tire lift float, get a tire lift float, then you go to, I'm just going to cut to the chase real quick. You do this about 5 or 6 times, but you do end up going around the course about 5 or 6 times. I can't even really remember because it just kept going over and over and over and over again. It was kind of ridiculous, but it actually made me enjoy the ride a little more than if it was only 2 or 3 times, but at the same time it did make dispatches pretty crazy because it was only 1 train operations, and on the day we went, the line was actually outside of the queue. And just a side note real quick, you can ride this if you are an adult. At least we were able to. There was 4 adults with us on that particular train in the back, which was actually a lot of fun and pretty funny as well. So it's totally doable if you are an adult to ride this ride, unlike some other kiddie coasters like possibly at Great America, cough cough. But this ride isn't bad by any means. It's just not really got much to it, and it is a generic kiddie coaster, I would say. It's not fantastic, it's not really good, but it's decent. I mean, it's, for what it is, it's pretty great, and I think it's a great first coaster for sure to start out on. I would actually say it's one of my favorite kiddie coasters, arguably, and I just feel like this rating doesn't do it justice for how good it is for a first coaster or a starter coaster, but I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 10, just because I think it's got less to it than any other ride at Lagoon. There's just not really any elements that are special to it, or any elements really whatsoever besides a turn and a drop, a bunny hill, and that's it. I mean, that's really the coaster in a nutshell. So I'm gonna have to give this a 3, and I know some people are gonna hate me for this, but it's just not amazing compared to most of the other coasters in the park. But I would definitely say this is a perfect coaster to be your first coaster. I think it's probably the best coaster to actually be introduced to younger audiences that have never been on one before. So you guys happy? I did a Puff the Little Fire Dragon review just for you. Oh man, I was not expecting to do this as a review, but if you have any crazy reviews that you'd like me to do, some kind of funny or just ridiculous ones you want me to do in the future, let me know in the comments, and of course, as always, we'll see you on the next ride.